This bread does not mold. Not in a week. Not in a month. Civil War soldiers carried it for years, and specimens from 1863 are still sitting in museums today. Theoretically edible, it has no preservatives, no chemicals, no refrigeration, just 3 ingredients, 2 of which you already have in your kitchen right now, and 1 secret ingredient that acts as a natural preservative so powerful that ancient armies used it to keep their soldiers fed across deserts, oceans, and year-long campaigns. We're going to reveal that ingredient and show you how to make 2 versions of this bread in this video. One version is from EZEKIEL 4:9, a nutritional formula so complete it kept a man alive on bread and water alone for over a year. The other is the military version, the one that fed soldiers from ancient Egypt to the American Civil War. Both can be made today, in your kitchen, in under an hour. Stay with me. Before we get to the recipe, you need to understand why this bread was engineered the way it was. Because this wasn't food created for comfort. It was food created for survival under impossible conditions. Egyptian sailors carried a flat, brittle loaf of millet bread called doura cake. A cracker called bucellatum is known from ancient Rome. King Richard I of England left for the Third Crusade with a mixed grain compound of barley, bean flour, and rye. Across civilizations, Egypt, Rome, ancient Israel, medieval Europe, armies kept converging on the same solution: dense, dry, unleavened, long-lasting. Archaeological evidence from ancient Egypt, dating back around 4,000 years, includes preserved loaves of unleavened bread made from emmer wheat or barley, used by laborers and travelers. Romans developed bucellatum, a twice-baked hard biscuit from emmer wheat, water, and salt, designed for legionaries' extended marches and sieges. And then there's EZEKIEL 4:9, written in the 6th century BC, a specific, detailed recipe. 6 ingredients, combined in 1 vessel, eaten for 390 consecutive days. Modern nutritional science has since confirmed what that combination does. When these 6 grains and legumes are sprouted and combined, a complete protein is created that contains all 9 essential amino acids. There are 18 amino acids present, from all vegetable sources, naturally balanced. A man-made complete protein in 600 BC, written in a prophetic text. Today we're going to make both versions. All right, you've waited long enough. The ingredient that keeps this bread from molding for weeks, sometimes years, is something sitting in your kitchen right now: salt, and the technique of complete moisture removal. These 2 things together create conditions where mold and bacteria simply cannot survive. Salt acts as a natural preservative and helps hardtack to last longer in storage. Salt has been used in hardtack for centuries. Some military rations containing salt were key to keeping soldiers and naval personnel fed for extended campaigns. Here's the science in plain English. Mold needs 3 things to grow: moisture, oxygen, and organic material. You can't remove the organic material. That's the bread itself. You can't fully remove oxygen without vacuum sealing. But you can remove moisture almost completely. The lack of moisture is what gives hardtack its legendary shelf life. Without water, mold and bacteria don't stand a chance. That's why hardtack doesn't spoil. It just waits. Bee and salt accelerates this process. It draws remaining moisture out of the bread during baking, creating an internal environment hostile to microbial life. The ancient armies didn't have food science degrees, but they understood the result: bread that outlasted the campaign. Now, let's make it. We're starting with the EZEKIEL version, the nutritional powerhouse. This one takes a little more prep, but what you get is a dense, protein-complete bread that can sustain you with minimal other food. What you need is simple. 6 flours. 1 purpose. 2½ cups of whole wheat. 1½ of barley. Your foundation. ½ cup of millet. Then 1/4 each. Spelt, lentil, and bean flour. The lentils and beans, grind them yourself. Dry, into a fine powder. 2 teaspoons of salt. 2¼ teaspoons of active dry yeast. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And finally, warm water. 1½ to 2 cups. Enough to bring everything together. A dense blend, a complete food. A note on the flours: if you can't find millet or barley flour at your local store, check the bulk section of health food stores or order online. The combination is what matters. Each grain fills a nutritional gap that the others leave open. Step 1. Mix your dry ingredients. Visual. Mãos combinando as farinhas em uma tigela grande. In a large bowl, combine all your flours and salt. Whisk them together thoroughly. You want an even distribution before the liquid goes in. This is your ancient grain blend. 6 ingredients. 1 vessel, exactly as written. Step 2. Activate your yeast. Combine your warm water. It should be around 110 degrees, warm but not hot, with the yeast. Let it sit for 5 minutes until it becomes foamy. If it doesn't foam, your yeast is dead, and you need a fresh packet. Now, a quick historical note. The original EZEKIEL bread was likely unleavened, like the military version we'll make next. Adding yeast makes the modern version more palatable and easier to eat daily. If you want maximum authenticity and maximum shelf life, skip the yeast. Step 3. Combine and knead. Add the olive oil and yeast mixture to your dry ingredients. Mix with a wooden spoon until a rough dough forms. Then turn it out and knead for 8 to 10 minutes until smooth and slightly tacky, not sticky. This dough will be heavier than any bread you've made before. That density is by design. Step 4. Rise and bake. Place in a greased loaf pan. Cover with a damp cloth and let it rise in a warm spot for 1 hour, or until it reaches just below the rim of the pan. Don't over-rise. This is a dense bread, and it doesn't need much lift. Bake at 350 degrees for 45 to 50 minutes. The internal temperature should reach 190 degrees. Step 5. Cool completely before cutting. This step is critical. If you cut into warm bread, you trap steam inside, which creates moisture, which shortens shelf life dramatically. Let it cool on a wire rack for at least 1 hour. This bread has a dense, nutty flavor. It's not light. It's not fluffy. It's not meant to be. It's meant to be substantial, filling, sustaining. Stored in a cool, dry place in an airtight container, this version will last 5 to 7 days at room temperature. Slice and freeze for up to 6 months. But the next version? The next version laughs at 6 months. This is the bread of legions, Roman soldiers, Crusader knights, Civil War infantrymen, Royal Navy sailors crossing the Atlantic. 3 ingredients. No yeast, no fat, no sugar, no mercy, and a shelf life that defies modern comprehension. Specimens from the Civil War can still be found in museums and are theoretically edible. Hardtack is inexpensive to make, lightweight, easily packable, and damn near indestructible, able to withstand severe jostling, intense temperature fluctuations, and extremes. Here's how you make it. What you need: 2 cups of all-purpose flour, white flour for longevity, 1/2 to 3/4 cup of water, just enough to bind, 1½ teaspoons of salt, nothing extra, nothing wasted. That's it. 3 ingredients, the same 3 ingredients that fed armies for 3,000 years. Step 1. Mix your dough. Combine the flour and salt in a bowl. Add water gradually, just enough to bring the dough together. You want a stiff, firm dough. Not sticky, not soft, firm. This is important. Too much water means mold risk, and moldy hardtack is not the survival move. If your dough feels soft, add a little more flour. Step 2. Roll flat and cut. Roll the dough out to roughly ½ inch thick. Cut into squares, traditionally 3 by 3 inches. This size was standardized by military bakeries because it fits easily into a soldier's ration pouch. Now, take a fork or a skewer and poke rows of holes all the way through each square. About 16 holes in a 40x4 grid pattern. These holes are not decorative. They serve a precise function. They allow steam to escape during baking, ensuring even moisture removal from the inside out. Every hole is a moisture exit point. Step 3. The critical double bake. This is where most modern recipes fail. They bake once and call it done. That's not how the ancients made it, and that's why modern hardtack goes stale faster. First bake, 375-degree temperatures for 30 minutes. You're looking for a light golden color on the surface. Don't over-brown. Remove. Cool for 15 minutes. Second bake. Reduce oven to 225 degrees. Return the hardtack for another 2 to 3 hours. This second, slow bake is everything. This secondary drying step, sometimes involving multiple rebakings in historical kilns, was essential for creating a product that could endure long storage without molding. British and other naval forces baked their biscuits multiple times at low temperatures to achieve longevity of up to a year or more without mold. You're not cooking the bread anymore. You're desiccating it, removing every last molecule of internal moisture. When you pull it out, it should feel like ceramic. Tap it. It should sound hollow. If it bends even slightly, put it back in. Step 4. Cool overnight before storing. Leave it out on a wire rack overnight, at least 8 hours, before sealing it in any container. Any residual warmth creates condensation inside the container, and condensation is moisture, and moisture is mold. When it's completely cool and room temperature, store in an airtight glass jar, a metal tin, or vacuum-sealed bags, stored properly in a cool, dry place. This bread will last for months. Stored in vacuum-sealed bags with oxygen absorbers, potentially years. Indefinitely, if kept perfectly dry. The Romans did it. The Crusaders did it. The Israelites fleeing Egypt did it. You can do it in your kitchen this afternoon. Now, a word of warning. Do not bite into dry hardtack directly. It is called tooth dullers and molar breakers for documented historical reasons. The traditional ways to eat it. Method 1. Dip it in broth or soup for 5 to 7 minutes until softened. This is how Roman legionaries ate it. Simple. Effective. Method 2. Soak in water for 15 minutes, then pan-fry in a little oil or butter. This was the preferred method of Civil War soldiers. They called it skilly gali. Method 3. Crush it and add to stews as a thickener. A technique used in naval kitchens for centuries. Or, eat the Ezekiel version, which is soft enough to eat as a normal bread. Slice it and toast it. Rich, dense, nutty. Filling in a way that modern bread simply isn't. The bread that doesn't mold. The ingredient? Salt, and the complete removal of moisture. Two things the ancient world had figured out millennia before. Food science could explain why. No lab, no chemistry degree, just observation, repetition, and the stakes of survival. The Ezekiel bread, nutritionally complete. A complete protein from plant sources in a recipe from 600 BC. The military hardtack, nearly indestructible. 3 ingredients: Shelf life that outlasts conflicts. Both real, both verifiable, both makeable today. If you make either of these, I want to see it. Drop a photo in the comments. Tell me which version you tried and how it went. And if you want to go deeper into the foods that ancient civilizations built for survival, foods that lasted without refrigeration, without preservatives, without modern supply chains, the next video covers 3 more lost preservation techniques that archaeologists have only recently begun to understand. It's there when you're ready.